the latest breaking update coming in from the meeting is that Ghulam Nabi Azad has offered to resign. He said that he has given his explanation and he will resign if it is proved that he was in any manner mixed up with the BJP. This is in response to the assertion reportedly made by Rahul Gandhi in the meeting that those who wrote this letter are in some way acting in tandem or are helping the interests of the BJP. Ghulam Nabi Azad offering to resign there, Vinod.
You see, Vasu, I'm very distraught to see that this is the trend which is available within the Congress Working Committee. You see, you remember that even in the Congress Working Committee meeting at which Rahul offered to resign, he was upfront in his attacks against Chidambaram, Kamal Nath and Ashok Gehlot, that they were more interested in making their sons win the elections than the party. And he alone was the person fighting for the party. Right. Well, to some extent, there is an element of truth that the Congress, that the Gandhi-Nehru leadership works harder than an average Congress person, who's basically a lazy bum and he wants things on a platter. And this culture has to be contested and removed within the Congress party. And I think this letter was also largely about that you must reinstall, you must give the fora that are important within the Congress the kind of primacy that is required in any political party. But this is not being done. This whole issue has gotten digressed to a fight between the Gandhi family and those who have written the letter, while the real purpose should be that they should converge their minds and come to a common understanding as to what is the next step. Now, Sonia Gandhi says she will go because she's only interim Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi says that he will not be party president. Priyanka Gandhi is in any case out of equation thanks to what her mother has said. Then what is to be done by the party?
Right.
To be the navigator.
Okay, let me ask...
navigate the party out of this. This question has to be addressed by them. Those who are attacking Ghulam Nabi Azad now.
Okay.
If Ghulam Nabi Azad, I may tell you that any person with self-respect, after facing this kind of a serious charge, should go. He will have to go. He will go.
Okay.
Unless he is persuaded to leave the way Sachin was persuaded to not to leave,
Right. Okay. I just want to quickly ask all of you, I'll just take this around the panel, that, okay, fine. Right now, there's this sort of clash going on, but there has to be some kind of next step or an outcome. So let us assume that Sonia Gandhi is not, at the end of all this, Sonia Gandhi is not persuaded to stay on, that Rahul is adamant that he doesn't want to stay on. What then is the scenario? Is there going to be a non-Gandhi person who's heading the party for some time or perhaps permanently? And if so, who could that be? Perhaps we can even start talking about names. If I can start with you, Rashid Kidwai.
Ghulam Nabi Azad, a lot of things have been said. See, we are looking at it, from one perspective or one dimension. I will try to give you another dimension. You see, Mr. Azad and Pranab Mukherjee, these are the two people who had gone to Sonia Gandhi with folded hand way back on, 1991, 22nd of May, asking her to take over when Rajiv Gandhi had died, when his body was lying in state. Mr. Azad was also present when in 1997 December, the group of Congress people went asking Sonia to take the reins of power or take over, Congress leadership. Mr. Azad was also there when, when Rahul had refused to become, to continue as Congress president, and Sonia Gandhi was unwilling. The date was 9th of August 2019. So that day, the whole issue of, non-Gandhi and all was settled. When, the Congress from May to July or August could not find a replacement of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi, as I told you yesterday also, she has a very deep sense of hurt. Because what are they saying, long and short of it? That she is not a good leader. She is not being able to counter BJP. All these things, these are serious in nature. To say that, the political, loyalty remains forever, that's not true at all.
Okay.